Hello and welcome back to the Icons of Sin. Let me just adjust my mic because it's too far away. How are you doing, Chris?
I am good, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You have a new member of your family now.
Oh, we do indeed. Nice little eight-week-old Jack Russell puppy called Roxy.
Baby Jack Russell. And
yes,
we're
she's very, very hyper and very playful.
I can imagine. And we're recording right now. We were going to be recording at 5 p.m. We're recording about 1:30, 2, because Roxy's asleep.
Oh, well, she's woke up now.
Oh, she's awake. Never mind. Well, we tried.
She's playing with Chrissy and Darwin in the other room.
I'm sure she's getting a lot of attention.
Oh, of course.
So, Chris, what have you been playing? Have you been playing much? Apart from with the dog?
I've actually been playing quite a bit of the Call of Duty Warzone, which is kind of appropriate
Topical.
for our topic, yeah.
Very appropriate, yeah. Well, we will get to that then very shortly, because I haven't actually played that one. Awesome. And I've been playing Fallout 4. Found a mod.
Classic.
Yeah, well, I found... You know, I quite enjoyed what I remembered of the story of Fallout 4, so I thought I'd go back... And I found a mod, like I did with previous Fallout games, that made it, a lot harder. It's like, a shot to your head will kill you, but then a shot to an enemy's head will kill them. So it kind of makes it's a very different playing experience, because I played through Fallout 4 properly, and now I'm playing through it.
More of a realistic feel to it.
Yeah, more of a... It's certainly when it comes to gunplay, anyway. And I'm just playing through the story, and obviously playing through the story now that I know what happens. So, I just ignored doing any of the base building with Cogsworth. I just said bye and walked off. I saved the Minutemen, and then they were like, "We're going to go and set up a community," and I was like, "Yep, go fuck yourselves, goodbye," and just walked off. And, so I'm doing the bits that I want to do, and I'm ignoring all the rest. I don't want to build bases. I might build a base when I've completed the story. I don't know. I'll come back to it, but not right now. I'm not interested. So yeah, that's been fun. And again, I guess kind of relevant to what we're talking about today, because today we had a lot of suggestions, actually, and we will probably do some of those suggestions at some point, but we decided first-person shooters.
Yes.
Big subject.
Yes, a lot of games are it's dominated the game scene for ever.
Since the 90s, really. I mean, obviously first person was around before the 90s in terms of games with first person, but since Wolfenstein 3D, and then certainly since Doom, it's taken the gaming world by storm. So many games that were never first person are now first person because of Doom coming along. Fallout was isometric top-down game. Now it's first person.
I always play Fallout in third person.
Do you play it third? Oh no, I always play it in first person. Always. But we'll get to that, because as cliched as it is, I find first person is probably my favorite way to play a game. I love my isometric top-down RPGs and strategy games, but for me, if I'm looking for immersion, there's nothing more immersive for me playing a game than first person. So when it comes to Fallout and stuff like that, I will play it in first person, but I'm going to ignore Fallout today. I'm kind of, for me personally, I'm just going to go
Never thought I'd hear you say that.
Well, I'm going to go with first-person shooters, so I'm ignoring RPGs. That's what I was going to do. I was going to say, I'm just going to focus on the first-person shooters. But we can talk RPGs if you want, obviously. There's always... I've always got time for that. But I thought, my list is purely focused on first-person shooters, not RPGs. So,
what was your first-person shooter that you've ever played?
That I ever played.
Or that you remember playing first?
I remember playing. So I have obviously played a lot of Wolfenstein 3D, because that was just given to me on a couple of discs by a school friend. But I think the first game was probably Doom. Yeah, it would have been Doom. That would be my first person shooter experience was
think
the original Doom.
I think I've got to say the same. I think my first ever first-person shooter was either Doom or Quake. So
Yeah. The what did you say it was last time? The creepy castle game.
the Scary Castle game.
Scary Castle game is what you called it to your uncle, right?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay, your dad. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's probably when I was about 7. So,
Yeah. So
Over 20 years ago.
we've got similar in terms of our first sort of foray into first person shooters. Mine with Doom, yours probably with Quake, from what you were saying, because it was 3D, right? If it's in 3D, then it's Quake rather than Doom.
Probably Quake. They were obviously 7-year-old me. They both looked kind of similar. So.
Of course, and you know they are kind of similar in a way. I mean, Quake was originally designed to be a very different game, but became another first-person shooter in the kind of later stages. What was your first impression of just seeing things in first person? Because it blew my mind when I saw it.
Yeah, my first thing is like, oh, this is like fast-paced. I'm in the action. This is the point of view from the person I'm playing, not like top-down like I was used to.
No.
So I was like, oh, fast-paced. Right, okay. Oh, action everywhere.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I'd played games in a first-person perspective before Doom. Like I had Total Eclipse on the Commodore 64, which is first-person. And, you know, elements of other games were in first-person, but it's the speed and the smooth... It's that smooth motion speed, which I'd never seen in first-person before. It was always like, you know, you move forward in like... big steps, you know. It was like a
clunky. It was
clunky and slow to move, and then Doom came along. For me, I know Wolfenstein came along, and whatever they called it before, I can't think of the name that came out before that, but the other game that John Carmack created before Wolfenstein. But for me, Doom was the first one I saw, and just the speed and the smoothness of the gameplay, it was amazing. And for me, it was like immediate. Fell in love. I was like, this is the future. This is it. And it really was.
Doom is amazing. I've got a version, the original version, just made for PS4. It was free on the PlayStation Store.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Going from the 2018 Doom to
which is a great game.
It's so good. But going from that to the 1993 Doom, it's like, holy shit. This is bad. Not like gameplay wise. Gameplay is always amazing.
It still stands up.
The graphics and the controls, I'm like, Christ.
Well, when you get a PC, we have this conversation every time we do this podcast. When you get a PC, I will introduce you to Brutal Doom, which is a mod for Doom, and it's effectively... It's the mod that they ripped off to make Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. It's basically, before Doom 2016 came along, there was Brutal Doom for Doom, and when I saw the trailer for Doom 2016, I was like, that looks amazing. They've ripped off, and I hope the guy got some money who made Brutal Doom, because it's basically Brutal Doom with great graphics. But Brutal Doom is a lot more violent. You've got, like, kill cams, and you do like horrendous things to the monsters and stuff, but it also updates it so you get mouse look, and it's all very like, it feels like it's playing the original Doom but like a modern FPS.
All right.
So good fun.
There's one issue I have with the is it 2016 it came out?
I think it's 2016. You said 18. You might be right.
Yeah,
there. You may be right.
You're probably right. You're more knowledgeable about this kind of stuff. But the only issue I had with playing that game is in the beginning bit, when you look at the screen and it says like, what was it, like demonic?
Demonic presence.
Yeah. And I was like, how often does this happen that you have to put it into the program it into the computer?
See, I loved that, because that game just had its tongue firmly in its cheek. It knew exactly what it was doing, that game, and I kind of love it for that. It's just campy, silly fun.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like when I first started, it's like demonic presence or whatever it says.
Yeah, it's like demonic presence too high or something, isn't it? Yeah.
How often does that have to happen for you to have it programmed into the computer?
Well, of course, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are officially sequels to Doom and Doom 2. So has happened before, I guess.
Right. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, spoilers. Yeah, they
I
link it back in Doom Eternal. They link it back.
I have Doom Eternal on the PlayStation now, courtesy of John.
Wonderful game. It is hard as balls. You need to.
I haven't actually played it yet.
Oh, it's real tough. It's really good, but you need to get used to Doom Eternal's gameplay. It's quite different from Doom. You don't. Basically, they were determined to make you switch weapons a lot, so you can't hold much ammo. And you need to use the chainsaw a lot for melee attacks to get health and get ammo. Basically, they limited the ammo, so it forces you to switch through the weapons and use different weapons for different scenarios and stuff. It's really, really good, but I found it massively frustrating for the first couple of hours until I figured out what the game was. Basically, the game's telling you the whole time to do it, but you kind of ignore stuff that comes up on screen. You're like, I don't care. You kind of need to go with it, and once you get in it, it's amazing. It's such a good game. You'll have a lot of fun playing that one. That's very Dark Souls-like in its difficulty.
Oh, that's right up my street then.
Yeah, it's a difficult game. Certainly on higher difficulties. I don't know about lower difficulties. It might not be too bad if you do it on a lower difficulty. But tremendous games. Doom, what a series. Doom 2, still my favourite of the series, the original Doom 2. I adore that game. I still play it most weeks. There will be a moment where I'm like, I'm just going to spend half an hour playing Doom 2. That happens all the time with me. Let's talk about Quake, though, because Quake... That might have been your introduction.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, what happened to the Quake series? It kind of died.
Well, the Quake series changed dramatically over its time. The original Quake was meant to be something, like I said, it was meant to be something very different. If you read Masters of Doom, which is a wonderful book about the creation of id Software, the creation of Doom, Doom 2, and Quake, and the split between Romero and Carmack, the original plan for Quake was a very different game. And at the last minute, they just decided, let's just make it like Doom, but in 3D. And that's kind of why when you play Quake, it's a mix of everything. Like, you've got medieval stuff and also tech stuff, and it's all separated by warp gates. Like you go through the slip gate and you go to like medieval place, but then even in the medieval place you got people with guns, and it's a very mixed, weird kind of thing. It's like Cthulhu meets cyberpunk or something. It's bizarre.
Like a Lovecraftian cyberpunk fantasy.
Lovecraftian cyberpunk, which exists. What's the name of that? Cthulhu Punk, is it? Is there a pen and paper RPG, which is cyberpunk meets Cthulhu, which is very fun. But that was Quake, and I love Quake for that. I love that mixed up, weird, Cthulhu-y, cyberpunky, crazy game. Just a mix of everything in a game.
I will have to say that Quake 2 for the PlayStation 1 is in my top 5 games of all time.
That's interesting. See, I think Quake 2 is a really good game. And I really love it now. But back in the day, when it first came out, I was not convinced because I wanted more Quake. And Quake 2 was such a departure from Quake for me. Because Quake was that Cthulhu-y weirdness, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, it's about the Strogue or the Strog, and you have to go and defeat the Strog. And I'm like, who are they? I want to go back to doing Quake again, the original Quake. So with Quake 2, they added a story, and it's a very different game, but good lord, is that a good game? That's an amazingly good game.
The main reasons why it's in my top 5. I know there's lots of games much better than it now, but back in the day it was amazing.
The lighting.
Yeah, well, we used to, obviously I had it on PS1, and we had the multi-tap, I think it was called.
Oh yeah.
And it was either like me and my brothers and sister would play like a deathmatch, like 4-way split screen, or after school if I had some friends come back. It probably isn't the best game to hold up through time, but the memories I have of playing that game with my family, with my friends, puts it in my top 5. It's just those memories and
100%, man. I get that. I mean, the same with me with Doom 2. I still love Doom 2. I do think that the early 3D shooters and the early 3D games in general have not aged anywhere near as well as the sprite-based games. Like, if I think Doom 2 looks better than Quake because it's not aged as badly as Quake has, if that makes sense. Because it's that early 3D, it kind of looks worse, whereas the sprites look fine, in Quake, in Doom, sorry. And they still do to this day. They look just fine. They've got a retro look now, but they've aged better, I think. But Quake 2, wow, that was just such a step in technology when that came out. It was amazing.
So much fun.
Yeah, really good. And I love some of the designs, like the tanks and things like that, and those creepy dog things with that shoot the tentacle at you and suck your life. They're horrendous. I used to always get terrified of them because you can hear them running around. You can hear their feet on the ground, and you're like, oh no, I know they're around here somewhere. I can hear them.
The BFG, though, that was a hell of a weapon.
Yeah, well, of course, introduced in Doom, and then made its appearance in Quake 2, and they updated it wonderfully because it shoots the ball.
Yeah,
but it also does the lasers coming out that hit all the enemies along the way, and that was such a great visual when you shoot that thing. It's so much fun. But if we're talking weapons from Quake 2, the railgun.
Oh, I was going to say the hyper rifle.
Yeah, hyper rifle's good, but the railgun.
That is the one with the spinning barrel, right? The 3 barrels.
Yeah, the hyper rifle. Yeah.
That's a great was my go-to. That was my go-to.
The railgun was so much fun, though.
That was good. I was obviously back then my aim wasn't that great, so I wasn't very good with it. But the hyper rifle, I could just sort of spray and pray.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, of course, because the machine gun in Quake 2, it had recoil, didn't it? So when you shot, it would back up, and you'd have to readjust the sights.
Yeah.
Which you didn't have to do with the hyper rifle. So the hyper rifle, you could just shoot, point and shoot. What a great game, though, man! Quake 2 is a tremendous game. Tremendous. Did you ever play any of the build engine games, like Duke Nukem or Blood or Shadow Warrior, any of those kind of games?
No, I don't think so. I remember playing an old PS1 game called Shadow Man, which was...
Oh, Shadow Man's a different game, but that's a good game. That's good fun.
It's very fucking weird.
Yeah.
I've never played any of the Duke Nukem or anything like that.
Ah, those were so good back in the day. So many memories of just playing those with my friends and on my old PC back in my parents' house over and over again. I mean, Duke Nukem was a revelation because it was kind of, you're in a city, because where is Doom? And Doom 2 technically takes place in a city. It takes place on Earth, but it looks nothing like a city. Whereas you started playing Duke Nukem, you're like, wow, I'm in like a real world, a world that I recognize. There's a cinema and whatever, strip club or whatever, all of the seedy things that Duke Nukem does. But it was in a real city, and it was like, oh, I'm in a city, and that was a big deal in the 90s. It was like, oh, first person in a city. I can walk in this cinema and start shooting monsters and aliens. Great. And then, of course, along came Shadow Warrior and Blood. Blood, in my opinion, the best of the build engine shooters. Blood is just so good. It might even be my favorite shooter of all time. The Blood is like... It's close to Doom 2, man. It's
what
close.
console was that on?
I was on PC, and I don't think it came out on anything but PC.
Okay.
You play as Caleb, who is... dead. He's an undead cowboy, basically, is the easiest way I can explain it. And he walks around quoting Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness quotes, and just blowing away the undead and basically taking down this evil demonic creature called Chernobog and his minions. So much fun. But yeah, man, so Quake 2, I guess, moving forward then, Half-Life. Did you play the Half-Life games?
I played a version of Half-Life, but just kind of like the deathmatch bit.
Okay, yeah.
Because someone brought it in on a USB stick to school, and uploaded it to every computer so everyone could play it.
It's so funny. So we did that in our sixth form, but with Doom 2. Because we had PCs in our sixth form, so they were all LAN connected, and yeah, we had Doom 2 going on all of those. Great fun. Well, that's something we should probably get to, is death matching.
Well, that's what modern shooters are these days, isn't it?
It's just all they are. They've ditched the story, and for me, I love a good story in a first-person shooter. I do.
See, like some games are just purely online, but some obviously have a storyline and then an online mode.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty and Battlefield, for example.
Yeah.
Which I have been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about those?
Yeah.
I guess let's talk about let's talk about some of our favorite FPSs. Because we're not going to get through every single FPS game ever. That would be crazy. So yeah, talk us through a couple of your favorites. So did you Call of Duty 1? Did you play that, or when did you come into the Call of Duty series?
I came in Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Okay, arguably the best Call of Duty game.
Arguably. Yeah, I played through the remastered version as well, and I just got to say, it's still fucking amazing.
That single-player campaign was amazing. I haven't played it since the original, but I had so much fun playing that campaign.
Yeah, those sniper missions were the best.
Yeah, really good fun.
I've been playing the newest one, also called Modern Warfare.
Yes, so this is the Modern Warfare.
It's out now, isn't it?
It's PUBG, isn't it, basically? I've not played it at all, so...
the Warzone mode is a drop-in battle royale thing, kind of like PUBG, but better graphics.
Great. Does the map shrink like PUBG, or is it just right? Yeah, okay.
But they have another online mode which is just like death matches, team death matches, domination. They have that as well, but they also have actually a surprisingly good solo campaign, and they've also brought back the Spec Ops missions, like the special operations, which they're longer. There's more to them and really fun. And instead of having zombies, they've got survivor mode, which is what I posted a few days ago.
Yes, on Tron Games.
Yeah, it's just every round there's more enemies, and they get like slightly better armor, better guns, and you just have you can go buy a gun.
Just wave after wave after wave, and you just go as long as you can.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Me and that random dude when I posted the video, because you can buy like kill streak rewards and stuff. We kept buying, me and just one other bloke kept buying the Juggernaut, where you get the big bomb suit armor and an infinite minigun.
Nice.
And you normally last about a round or two in it, and then it breaks, and then you've got to go buy another one. But we found a building. He was on the stairs, I was in the window. We think we lasted, just two of us, round 46, and I had over like 900 something kills.
Nice.
It just stand in the window, and he stood on the stairs, just like constantly firing the miniguns. If we only failed because between rounds I went to go to the toilet, came back, and I was dead. And I thought I could do it fast enough, but I didn't.
Oh man, he lasted a while though. It was pretty good going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not played the new Call of Duty game, and it looks really good. I must admit, I've seen some footage of it. It looks like a lot of fun. I will jump in at some point, I think.
I don't generally like battle royales.
I'm not a big fan, but there's something about the look of this one that's kind of winning me over. I did really enjoy the Battlefield games.
I love Battlefield. I prefer Battlefield to Call of Duty.
Me too.
I'm just better at Call of Duty.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's annoying because Battlefield is so good. It's bigger. There's more objectives. It's just a better game. That the physics and stuff is so much better. But I'm just very bad at it.
Yeah. I'm not terribly good at that actually. At that game.
John is though. John's very good.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You tend to get specialists in the end, don't you? Where it's like, this person's just a pilot and they're just going to run straight for a plane and that's what they're going to do. And then you get other people that's like, I'm a sniper,
See, that's my thing. I like using a sniper rifle with
Me
a combination of an SMG as well.
Okay.
So use the SMG to like get up into a building and clear it, and then put a claymore by the door, and then switch to the sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
But something I've never got the hang of in Battlefield, because they have a proper bullet drop. And, and wind and that. I can never get the hang. I was good at Battlefield 2 because that's all I played for about 5 years.
Yeah.
But now I kind of went away from Battlefield. John bought me Battlefield 5, and I tried to start sniping again, and I was missing like 98% of the shots. So I was like, I'm just going to go to Call of Duty.
Yeah, it takes a bit of practice to get used to that bullet drop physics with games that they've added now.
It's just getting back. I used to be a fucking deadly sniper to have on your team. I was really good. Now I'm a noob.
Oh man. Good fun though. Yeah, I've got really good fond memories of Battlefield 2 and 3. Good stuff.
What Battlefield Bad Company? Those were
and
great.
Bad Company. Those had really fun single player campaigns. That was fun.
Those were funny. They were.
Yeah.
They had a bit of humor to it.
I like games with a sense of humor as well. But yeah, man, that's really cool. So I'm definitely going to check out the new Call of Duty game. It does look really, really fun. I must admit.
Do it if you get the newest Modern Warfare, because obviously Cold War is out now.
Oh yeah.
But the Modern Warfare one, I do believe, is cross-platform.
Is it? Oh, we could team up, dude.
I think so.
Oh, I will download it and we'll give it a try. That would be fun. We could stream that.
We could.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm not sure how audio will work.
We could just do it through Skype or something.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. See, you got the brains. This is why you're in charge.
It's my go-to. It's my go-to for games that don't let me chat in game. It's just open Skype on the and chat through Skype. But yeah, man. Oh, that sounds fun. So let's talk. Let's just name some of our favorite FPSs. Let's do that. Borderlands. Yep. I never played Borderlands. I never played it, and then Borderlands 2 came out, and just, oh my god, what a game.
Borderlands 2 is the best one.
Is it? Because I never played the first one, and then the second one I was like, oh, I'll give it a go, it looks interesting, and oh my god, I had so much fun. So much fun.
I personally think Borderlands 2 is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands 1 is good, but obviously they got better with number 2.
Yeah.
The pre-sequel was alright. It's better than the first one, but not as good as the second one. And Borderlands 3, I haven't finished that yet.
Okay.
So
but it's good? Or
Borderlands 3 is very good.
Great.
It's very good. But still, Borderlands 2 is...
Just wins for you.
It's a mind-blowing game. It's just... There's so much to do, so much customization, so different classes, especially if you get the Game of the Year edition that I had.
Yeah, I had the Game of the Year edition. That's the version I had as well.
The best class in any of the Borderlands games so far is the Necromancer.
Yeah.
In Borderlands 2. Mm-hmm. With Deathtrap.
I always played as is it Ghost? The sniper. Zero. That's the one. I always played as him. Because that's kind
Mordecai
of the class
in the first game. It's Zero in the second game. I'm not sure what the sniper's name in the third one is.
Right. Okay. So much fun, man. I mean, it's basically Diablo. It's first-person Diablo shooter, basically. With the randomized loot, and that's what keeps you going with those games, man. It's just like, oh, what weapon am I going to get next? What am I going to find in this crate? What am I going to find on this enemy? And the combination of the different ammo types with weapon types, and it just gets so crazy and so much fun. It just keeps you just get addicted to finding loot, which is exactly what happens with Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
Well, they do advertise it as a shooting loot, don't they?
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what it is. But you get, unlike a lot of grindy things, because I'm not a big fan of grind. Like in RPGs, I get annoyed with grind unless it's really enthralling in some way. I get very annoyed with it, but I love looter shooters because it's just the it's instant gratification. I kill someone, or I liberate some base or get in somewhere, and I instantly there's a new weapon for me to play with now. You know, and you're always like, oh, I'll just play until I clear. I'll just play and clear this room, and then I'll stop playing. But then when you clear that room, you get a cool new weapon, and you're like, oh, but now I need to try this weapon out. You know, and then you keep going.
This will put it in perspective how much I've played Borderlands 2. I think I'm on my 5th playthrough or something.
Nice.
But my shield is, I think it's 75,000 limit.
Right. That's ridiculous.
Yes, especially because your starting one is what, like 50?
Something like that. Yeah. Do you
75,000.
Do you know another thing I think that Borderlands 2 does really well is the classes are perfect.
Yes.
Each class is a play style that someone would like to play in an FPS. You know, it's the way they would like to play FPS. Is one of those. One of those. Yeah. And
I still stand by the Necromancer is the best class they've ever made.
That's fair. Yeah.
That was an unstoppable machine.
Yeah.
Especially the way I put my skill points to it anyway.
Yeah.
And especially with now I'm on like my 5th playthrough or something with a stupidly big shield. I don't think my health has actually taken damage in about 3 years.
Right.
I played that game a lot.
It's such a good game. It's so much fun.
I think I've got something like 3,000 hours playtime on it.
Jesus, you got your value for money there.
I got it for free.
Well, you certainly got value for money then. 3,000 hours, that's crazy. So much fun though. Such a great series. I'm looking forward to playing 3. I'm going to wait for it to come down in price because I'm a cheapskate. But
it is Black Friday, or it's Black Friday deals this weekend. So
yeah,
next week. I think it's this weekend.
I think
Amazon have got deals on this weekend.
Oh, they're doing a whole week. Their Black Friday is a week now, which makes no sense, but that's what they do. I think it's next Friday. I don't know. It is Black Friday all the time at the moment, so it's it probably will come down in price. I will keep an eye out for sure.
Check Amazon because they've got deals on at the moment. Because I keep getting emails about it. It's like, do you want this? It's like, no, not really.
No, not really.
But
I may well check it out. Any other games that kind of come to mind when we say FPS? Any favourites for you?
There was. I had it on the tip of my tongue, and I
all right. Well, while you're thinking about that, I've mentioned Blood, I've mentioned Blood, and I've mentioned Doom 2, two of my favourites. Okay, and Dark Forces I'm not going to mention again because I've brought it up in so many podcasts now. But Dark Forces is obviously in my top FPSs, as would Quake be. But we have discussed Quake. So I guess we're down to just other games I've really fond memories of. There was one game, and I shout out to Jason Cooper, who's a long-time listener to this show and is actually going to be starting his own streaming channel. I think he's got a new PC and he's trying to decide what he wants to do with the channel, but he will have a gaming channel soon. So we'll give him a big shout out once he does. But there was a game that me and him were.
Can I just say something as well?
Go for it.
You said it was Jason, right?
Yeah, Jason.
If you're listening, when you get your Twitch or YouTube or whatever up,
Gamers Unite.
Send us a link, and Chon Games will subscribe, like, or follow
100%. And Gamers Unite. And Gamers Unite.
And Gamers Unite, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jason, when you get your stuff ready to go, we got you, right?
Do it, Jason.
You've got supporters here.
And then we'll play some games with you as well, because.
Oh yeah, of course.
That
goes without saying.
But we had an obsession with a game. I think it was on the Quake engine. It's like a modified Quake engine called Requiem: Avenging Angel, which is a game that's not aged terribly well. But in the late 90s, it was like the coolest thing ever. You play as an angel, and you start off in the heavens or in hell, and then you come into down to earth, and you've kind of lost your powers because you've come to earth, and you regain your powers as you kind of progress through the game. But it's like a future, so it's like a dystopian future of Earth, and you're an angel, and basically you're playing through the game, through the campaign, and you've got various guns and it's a shooter, but you also start gaining angelic powers, like you could turn people to salt and they just like crumble into salt and things like that. Really fun game. I don't know how well it's aged, but it's on GOG.com. It's on GOG. If you want to give it a go, I'm tempted to pick it up myself and give it a try for the memories. But yeah, Requiem Avenging Angel. I have very fond memories of that, and I'm sure Jason does too, because we put a lot of hours into that. What was the game you were thinking of?
Black Hawk Down.
Wow, now that's a game I didn't even have in this list, but what a game. That was a game changer when that came out. That was amazing.
It was super realistic as
it
well.
Was.
It was hard. You had to actually play like your life was on the line, otherwise you would die.
That was a great game. Oh god, I wonder how well that's aged. I'd be tempted to go back and play that.
I have no idea. I just remember
that's a game.
It was frustrating.
Delta Force.
Yeah,
Black Hawk Down. That is a game that should be remastered. Someone remake that game. I would buy that in a second.
Yeah, definitely. So would I.
Dude, I forgot about that game. That's such a good game. Good call.
Yeah. I think my dad got it from one of his friends, and he was playing it, and then I started playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to play it as if your life is on the line, because it's very realistic. You need to take cover. You need to like stay with your unit. If you just run off, you're fucked.
You're done. I like games like that. Those squad based realistic shooters like Ghost Recon. Those games.
I haven't. What's the last Ghost Recon I played? I think it was on the PS2.
Okay, I played the first 3. I haven't played the Wildlands games. Those look quite fun though. But the first 2 were first person shooters. And they were really good. But again, if you get shot in the head, you're dead.
Yeah, there is a first-person shooter that I do want to get. Rainbow Six Siege.
That looks great. I used to love the Rainbow Six games. Love those. Those are real tactics-based games. SWAT 4 was another one. SWAT 3 and 4, especially 4. 4 is amazing. Similar game where it's like squad-based and you have to be really careful. Like you said, play like your life depends on it, because you will die. If you just run around a corner, you will die immediately.
Another good game series is the Sniper Elite series. They're really good.
Now they're third person, apart from when you shoot. Yeah. But
disregard that then.
No. That's not disregard it, because it's first person when you shoot for your rifle. And I've just got to say, those games are amazing. I adore the Sniper Elite games. The latest one is incredible.
See, I've only played one because it was free on PlayStation. I swear it was first person. But
are you thinking of Ghost Warrior?
Yes,
Sniper Warrior,
yes.
Ghost Warrior.
Sorry.
Those are quite fun. Those are first person. Yeah, those are quite fun.
Ridiculous. But also the Sniper Elite series is good.
Yeah, it's something about that slow mo. Just like ridiculousness,
especially when you get a nut shot. This is a
yeah.
This dude's bollocks exploding.
It does the It does the Mortal Kombat X-ray stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you see if it goes through someone's eye socket, you see the eye explode, and it's crazy stuff. But fun, a lot of fun. Those games.
I do like my sniper games.
Yeah.
It's like going back to like Call of Duty on the Warzone, because I normally do it on solo, because you can do it solo, duo, trio, or a squad of 4.
I
always do it on my own because other people annoy the shit out of me. if they're randomers, I don't know them, I'd rather play on my own.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think
so
that's
I'll
fair.
drop it to the edge of the circle. Go and find a sniper rifle as soon as I can. Go back to the edge and just pick people off from the edges.
Yeah.
I think I had my last game I played. I think it was because there's 150 people in the game.
Yeah, I mean a lot of them go immediately, but yeah.
Yeah, I killed 32 of them and came 35th.
Nice.
Out of everyone.
That's pretty good.
So that's not bad going.
No.
But yeah, there's some games where I've come like 5th and haven't killed anyone because I haven't fucking seen anyone.
But you just managed to stay ahead of the wave and hide.
Yeah, if I find a building that's got like one entrance point and like one window, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna sit in the corner. You fuckers can come to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You still get a shitload of experience for doing it.
Did you ever play the Fear games?
No, but
Oh, dude.
I watched my cousin playing it.
So it was like horror first-person shooters, but that had the gimmick of slowing down time, which was all the rage in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, Prince of Persia springs to mind.
Oh, Prince of Persia was so much fun.
I love that.
They were. It was an obsession after Max Payne, I think, as well, where it's like bullet time. You know, the Matrix had happened, and you know, it's like,
that's what kicked it off, is it?
Let's do bullet time, and then it was like Max Payne, and then Fear did it, and a bunch of games did it. But yeah, really good first person shooter. The first Fear is a really good game. I'm not so keen on the sequels, but the first one, amazing. Are there any other all time favorites for you? Come to mind?
Yes, but it's not a game I've owned.
Oh, okay.
The like Resident Evil 1 arcade shooter, like in the actual arcades we had the plastic gun, and Time Crisis.
House of the Dead.
Is it House of the Dead?
Are you thinking of House of the Dead?
House of the Dead's one, but there was also a Resident Evil one. I'm pretty sure Time Crisis was the one as well.
Oh, Time Crisis was definitely one. I don't remember the Resident Evil one. I'm going to have to look that up. That sounds awesome.
It may be House of the Dead then, because my memory is shockingly bad.
Don't worry, my memory's
House
just
of the Dead
full of
does
crap.
It does sound more familiar. I don't know. My mind went to Resident Evil.
But they're very similar, to be fair. It's in terms of tone, especially, they're very similar. I love those gun games. Not to get sidetracked into gun games, but oh my god, they're so much fun. Time Crisis.
That's a game that deserves a shout out from us, definitely. The
Certainly
original arcade machines.
And if we're talking about those, if we're a brief foray into that, then I have to say, on the PS1, Die Hard Arcade was amazing. That the Die Hard 2 sequences with the first person, the light gun with the G-Con, so much fun.
See, I've actually been really looking into potentially getting VR for the PlayStation.
Do it, man. I hear it's fantastic. VR is not something I'm particularly interested in, but I'm told it's very good on PlayStation, so I think it's probably worth it.
I played VR at my friend's house a few years ago. Where you probably know Beat Saber.
Yeah, probably
it's like
the best game
hero,
for it, from what I hear.
It's super fun. I thought like, oh, this is going to be shit. Put the headset on, started doing it. I was like, holy shit, I got to carry on doing this for hours. It's really fun. And I played, I think it's called Blood Rush.
Right.
Which is it's like a horror game, but it's like linear. You're on a roller coaster, and all you control with the VR is your head movements and a gun in each hand.
Okay.
It's like every now and then the roller coaster will stop, and you got like shoot clowns and stuff. It sounds stupid, but it's fucking amazing.
It sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun.
But I think definitely after lockdown is done, me and you need to meet up and go to a traditional arcade.
We'll go to Western Pier and
we'll go to we'll employ Chrissy and Paula as camera people, and they can stream it to the Icons channel where me and you are playing arcade games.
Paula will want to get involved. She won't be down with filming. Well, we'll have to take it in turns to film. I think that's the only way that's going to work. But well up for that, because it's so much fun. So much fun to be had in the arcades. Are there any other first-person shooters for you that you just like favorites, or are those your top ones as far as you can
I
think
would have
of?
to say that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2
is
one of my favorite shooters.
Really good. Just
because obviously Black Ops never really got it right, because obviously it was a different developer and they kind of changed the graphics, and it looks real, but like a real cartoon, if you know what I mean. It wasn't quite realistic enough. Mm-hmm. But Modern Warfare 2, with the selection of guns they had and the perks, the storyline was not as good as the first one, but it was still a very fucking good storyline. And it has my favourite gun that I've ever used in Call of Duty, which is the intervention sniper rifle. That was
nice.
the best.
So I feel like we might have teased this out of you already, but you said at the start of this you wanted to talk about the way we approach first-person shooters, the way we play.
Yes.
So what is your style of play?
Well, there's two different play styles. If I'm playing just online, it's normally an assault rifle. Most probably it's going to be the M4A1, just because that's a really reliable one that doesn't have much recoil but still fires fast and does decent damage. So you can't go wrong with that. Normally silenced as well with a 3x scope and extended mags. And then my second weapon is either going to be a marksman rifle, which is like a semi-automatic rifle, but it's not quite a sniper rifle. It normally can be one of them with a sniper scope on it, because you can fire them fast, and 2 shots normally kills people.
Yeah.
Now, with also like dead silence and UAV jammer and ghost, so no one can hear my footsteps, no one can see me on UAV, and obviously both my weapons are going to be silenced.
Yeah.
And I normally go, when everyone runs forward in the map, I normally go to the side and try and circle back behind the enemy.
Yeah. So you use some tactics, unlike most people online, that just run forward and think that leaving their torch on is somehow going to stop me shooting them in the head, which never works. It's literally never worked a day ever.
So
my
that's my loadout
play
and play style for normal online games. If I'm doing the battle royale, which is the war zone, obviously you have to try and pick up whatever weapons you can, because you only drop down with a pistol.
Yeah.
Occasionally there is a loadout drop that drops, and you can go and you can actually get one of your custom classes that you made and use that.
Right.
It will be again a silenced M4, but an actual sniper rifle. And obviously you don't get perks in Warzone. But instead of going in or trying to get behind in Warzone, I will sit on the edge in a bush or something and snipe.
Nice.
When there's 150 people, I'm not going to run in, because that's just stupid.
So I think we play the same. I mean, when it comes to multiplayer, certainly, and when it comes to shooters that involve tactics of any kind, I will always go sniper stealth approach. That's the way I will tend to do things. Obviously, if we're playing something like Doom, then it's going to be the biggest, loudest gun I can find. But if it's a tactics game, or if I've got the option, I will always do the stealthier route. Pick them off from a distance, or quiet up front. That's the way I like to play.
When we eventually do play Warzone together,
which we could do. That could happen.
If you're good at sniping, because you might be better than me, we could do the duos. And I don't mind having obviously silenced M4 and let you do the sniping. I'll be your spotter and protect you from that.
And vice versa. We could swap around. That sounds like a lot of fun. But great fun, man.
In proper tactic.
Yeah. What was your first tactical game that you can remember? Would that be Call of Duty or probably Black Hawk Down, I guess?
Black Hawk Down or Splinter Cell, but Splinter Cell's not first person.
Well, we'll get to third person one day, and Splinter Cell would definitely feature, because that's a great series. I always remember Soldier of Fortune, and Soldier of Fortune 2 specifically was one of those games where you had to kind of think a lot more or die. Not exactly a tactics game, but you'd certainly die very quickly if you didn't kind of plan your approach somewhat, But it's this has been fun. I've enjoyed talking about this. How about we've talked about our all-time favorites. What about some modern shooters that you'd recommend for people to play? Modern first-person shooters, because I've got like 4 written down here that I would recommend. Have you got any that come to mind?
Battlefield 5, because it's a very good game. I didn't like Battlefield 1 that much, because obviously I know it's in World War 2, and I think World War 1. Battlefield 5's still in World War 2, I think, but the weapons are better.
Okay.
I would say the newest Modern Warfare from Call of Duty. It's a good game, and if any of our listeners do have it, drop your PSNs or whatever in the comments. I'll add you. We can play together. That's fine.
Do it.
Always need to play together.
Join Chris's team. He needs backup.
Yeah,
Come on.
team failure. I don't really play Borderlands 3.
And Borderlands 3, yeah, there you go. That's a solid...
I don't really play shooters, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play many modern style shooters, but the great thing for someone like me who loves those 90s FPS games and kind of wants to go back to that, there has been a massive surge in retro shooters, especially on PC. So for me, if I'm going to recommend shooters right now, Dusk is probably the best shooter I've played in years and years and years. Dusk is incredible. It's a Quake-like, Quake engine style game, so it's made to look like it was on the Quake engine. An amazing game. Dusk is incredible.
So that's another game I'm going to have to buy now. Then.
It's like Quake meets Blood. It's amazing. If you like your build engine games like Duke Nukem and Blood and Shadow Warrior, Ion Fury is an amazing game made by 3D Realms, who made Duke Nukem, and basically it's the same engine that Duke Nukem was on, but they've updated it as much as possible, so you get to see what the absolute best possible scenario you're going to get with a build engine game. Ion Fury is amazingly good fun. Wrath Aeon of Ruin, again another Quake-like shooter, and my the one I don't know if you've played, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. It is really weird, but it is so much fun once you start playing. Is Super Hot. Have you played Super Hot?
I've heard of it. I haven't played it.
So Super Hot puts you in various scenarios, and you have to basically just play through levels. It's just levels, and it basically is just kill all the enemies in this level, effectively, each time. But time doesn't move unless you move. So if you stand still, you can stand still and nothing happens. None of the enemies move, nothing moves. But as soon as you start moving, then time starts moving. Does that make sense? So
yeah. Sorry, I've got Roxy and she just licked my face.
Oh, nice. So basically, when you're playing, time will only move when you move. So it's really hard to explain, but if you look up a YouTube video of it, it is one of the most fun first-person experiences I have had. It's so much fun. Because you have to think really tactically, and you get to those moments because you can dodge bullets, because you can see the bullets and where they are, and you see the direction they're coming in. And as long as you don't move, they won't move, or they'll move very, very slowly. So you can dodge, and you get these wonderful moments where you can see it and you can't avoid it because it's too late and time's moved forward too much. I cannot recommend Super Hot enough, and there's a sequel now to Super Hot as well. So I would definitely check out Super Hot and Dusk. Those would be my two favorites.
Sounds good.
This has been fun. I like
I will also say about first-person shooter games. They don't take a lot of brain power, but they are entertaining.
No,
which is good because obviously
every now and again you just want to shoot stuff. That's all you want to do.
Yeah, and obviously to do at the moment, obviously I'm struggling with my mental health.
Yeah.
And I hadn't gamed for probably about like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I can turn on a first-person shooter. I don't need to pay that much attention to it. I can still play it and enjoy it.
It's just some escapism. Like,
stress myself out. So there's that aspect to first-person shooters. It's easy, a bit repetitive at sometimes, but you can go in, do a match. Okay, that's fine. Like for about a minute, another match. It's
just fun.
Especially if you got if your head's not your friend like mine is at the moment.
Yeah.
First-person shooters are a godsend because you can still play games and do what you love doing.
Yeah.
But you don't have to use all your brain power because.
Absolutely, and that links us back really nicely to last show, when we were talking about why we game and talking about that escapism. And first-person shooters are great escapism, especially the more simple ones where you don't have to think about tactics, you don't have to think too much. You can just drop in, play a game, and just move on.
Do you want to know what another thing is that's been helping me at the moment?
Go for it.
Doing this podcast, just being able to just chat with you about games.
I'm glad.
So,
I'm glad. I really love doing this show. I say this every show, but honestly, I don't care if no one listens. I really enjoy just talking games. It's really fun.
Yeah, no, so do I. It really helps me kind of get away from all the negativity that's in my head. It's just
I'm glad.
I'm talking about something I love.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad,
sorry
man.
if that's a bit too deep for the.
No, not at all. It's not too deep. I mean, like I said, it goes back to last show when we were talking about why we game, and it's that escapism. And I think there's some escapism in just talking about our memories with video games and what we like about video games, and because the video games are a big part of our lives. As stupid as that might sound to people that don't play video games, I'm assuming it won't sound stupid to anyone listening to this podcast because you've listened to an hour's worth of two guys talking about first-person shooters, but but they're a big part of our life. My memories are intertwined. Like some of my worst times as a kid were escaped by playing video games, and first-person shooters were a big part of that. Especially once Doom came along. For me. Game changer. And it's just that escapism, and I agree. I find I always finish these podcasts in a really good fun mood, just thinking about the cool memories that I have of playing awesome video games. And man, I'm glad it helps. I'm glad it's helping at the moment. I just love doing this show. I'll do this show forever. It's so much fun.
Well, I'm happy to do it further as well.
Yeah, we just need to keep thinking of topics. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but, this was a good one. I enjoyed talking about first-person shooters. It's good, and obviously we didn't cover all the shooters out there.
It went on for a bit longer than I thought it would. First-person shooters. I thought, oh Christ, this is going to only be half hour because we're going to run out. It's like,
I could go on. I could probably drag this out for like 3-4 hours if we kept going.
Yeah, no, I was trying to think of, like, before the recording, I was trying to think of what first-person shooters do I know. It's like, I can't think of any. And then we started. It's like, oh, we've got loads.
Yeah. I mean, there are loads I didn't sort of touch on as well. But, at the end of the day, we'd be here forever going through every game. And, it's just chatting about some of our favourite FPS games and play styles and all of that stuff. It's been good fun. It's been good fun.
It's quite funny to find out that we've got relatively the same play styles.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually. And also it's quite interesting that we both have very similar...
first games, yeah.
Yeah, first games, yeah. Because, I mean, while Quake wasn't my first, I've got such fond memories of Quake. I spent so much time playing Quake.
See, I'm still not entirely sure what it was, Doom or Quake.
I think it was
I'm
Quake.
looking towards Quake, yeah.
Because you said scary castle game, that's what made me think of it. Because Quake is very much that. It's the scary castle game. It is. More so than Doom, I would say. Unless you were playing Wolfenstein. You might have been playing Return to Castle Wolfenstein or something like that. But
no, my dad's never played Wolfenstein, so obviously I was watching him play, so...
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably was Quake.
Probably Quake, but either way, they're both tremendous games and pretty much set the standard. I'm pretty sure that even in FPS games today, and 3D games in general today, there is still probably some code that you can link all the way back to Quake. There's probably some Quake code in pretty much every 3D game that's out there these days. So
Quake code.
The Quake code. I mean, yeah, those games, especially the id ones, there are no games that run smoother than those games. The gameplay is so smooth. And actually,
Quake
that's something
that'd be a name for like an indie band.
Quake code.
Hello.
Yeah.
Quake.
That's something that Call of Duty is very good at as well. Is that smooth gameplay? It just is smooth. Yeah. So smooth. The movement is so smooth.
Some of them have been a bit janky, but
it's Raven though, isn't it? Raven Software who make they used to make the best. I kind of one of the things that I dislike about Call of Duty is that it's taken Raven Software away from me, because all they do is make Call of Duty games now, and it's a shame because back when they were making Soldier of Fortune, I think they made Soldier of Fortune, they made like Star Trek Elite Force, and they made some amazing games, and then now they make very good Call of Duty games, but it disappoints me that they don't make other things as well.
Sorry, I was being licked to death by.
You're getting licked to death by the dog. That's all good, man. I think we've come to the end of this episode anyway.
Yeah.
So you're being attacked by Roxy now. So we'll leave you to get mauled. And do you have any thoughts for the next episode, or should we again just see what comes along?
But, I have 3 minds here that I can ask.
Go for it.
Any topics that we could use for a podcast
for next time? Next show.
Game styles, different games. What? No.
Have a think, and we'll come back to it.
It was worth a try.
That's all right. We got a couple of weeks. We got some suggestions from people as well, so we'll think of something. But cheers for listening, everybody, and as I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with another episode. Who knows what it'll be? We'll find out then. But thanks for listening. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. All right.